Toronto Mike, let me talk to you about a lot of things, but primarily I want to talk to you about the fact that your name. What is your name? Your name is Toronto Mike, correct?
Correct.
Toronto Mike is your name.
That's right.
And I came on your show a few months ago, Mike.
You're doing this now.
Well, I just want to let people know what they're in for right now, because this is called Stu Stone, Hall of Famer Stu Stone, coming back on the Toronto Mike Show with receipts. I was here a few months ago, Mike.
Yep.
Toronto Mike.
Correct.
And we were talking about a baseball team called the Toronto Blue Jays, also known as the Toronto Blue Jays. I'm only pronouncing the T because there's people listening outside of the city, when I come on the show,
Right, because you're international.
Exactly. The audience expands where people still pronounce that second T. We were talking about Toronto Blue Jays baseball, were we not, Mike?
We were talking about Blue Jays, absolutely.
And you were saying you're out and you don't believe and you're not in and it's all BS and wait until this and they've done not that and it's not going to be this. And you had a real sour Skittles type of face when it came to talking about the Toronto Blue Jays, correct?
Yeah, to be discussed, you're right.
When it came to talking about believing and jumping aboard something special that I said was happening, Mike.
Right, you did say so.
You did not wish to jump, correct? You did not wish to jump. You were stubborn. You were, too cool for school, so to speak.
I took the regular season off.
You just basically... You did more than that, Mike. You broke a lot of hearts. And the only thing more disappointing than the Blue Jays not finishing the job this year was you. And you were more just as disappointing as that. And I cannot wait to lay into you today on this very special edition of the Toronto Mike Show.
What up, Mike?
Woo!
Coming in hot.
Love it. Love the passion.
I'm in Toronto where you wanna get the city love. I'm from Toronto where you wanna get the city love. I'm in Toronto like we wanna get the city love. My city love me back for my city love.
Welcome to episode 1808 of Toronto Mic'd, proudly brought to you by retrofestive.ca, Canada's pop culture and Christmas store. Great Lakes Brewery. Order online for free local home delivery in the GTA. Palma Pasta. Enjoy the taste of fresh, homemade Italian pasta and entrees from Palma Pasta in Mississauga and Oakville. Blue Sky Agency. Ask Doug Mills about how Silent delivers the space to focus, collaborate, and recharge. Nick Iones. He's the host of Building Toronto's Skyline and Building Success, two podcasts you ought to listen to. Kindling. Go to shopkindling.ca for free 1-hour cannabis delivery. Recyclemyelectronics.ca. Committing to our planet's future means properly recycling our electronics of the past. And Ridley Funeral Home. Pillars of the community since 1921. Today, returning to Toronto Mic'd, it's the remarkable Stu Stone.
Yay. Remarkable. Hey, wait a minute. Using my own words against me. I see what you did there right off the bat. Fair enough.
Speaking of bats.
Good to be back, Mike. And it's sad that I have to be back under in these type of conditions where I have so much anger towards
me.
You. But it's not necessarily anger. When I would cause trouble as a youngster, Mike, and I'm sure you've gone through this as well, it's not so much when your mom is angry with you. It's more that she is disappointed with you. I'm going to give you I'm not angry with you. I'm disappointed with you, Mike. And I was disappointed with you back when we last spoke during my last visit. I think I laid it in to you pretty thick then, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
Using some not so nice words. And I threw them at you like darts at a dartboard. And, I couldn't get you to change your ways. I couldn't get you to change your thinking. And it's not just you. I want to call out a couple other folks too. You got your Mike Wilners out there who I've heard on this show. You got your Scotty Max, who have been on the show. Other people who have doubted, who have questioned, who have, tried to discredit what was happening. That was so special in the city of Toronto. But you, Mike, I believe that you are on the top of the list of people who, your name is Toronto. I feel like when something special that can rally the city together, such as that team that I told you, Mike, months and months and months ago, was on the precipice of doing special things. That was not just fandom or hyperbole. That was actual eye test, ear test. All the senses were being covered by that something special was happening here, Mike. And I recognized it very early. Welcomed you aboard, but you refused that ticket. Why? Why did you refuse that ticket? Do you regret it? When they made the playoffs, Mike, the Toronto Blue Jays, did you hop on board? Were you? Because I kept texting Cam Gordon saying, I hope Mike's not watching. He better not be cheering right now. So were you? Did you eventually inevitably hop on board?
100%.
Oh, yeah. You did?
Oh, I was there for every playoff game.
You were there?
Not there. I was there in front of my Sportsnet broadcast. I was there watching with my children and my wife. I was watching every minute of Blue Jays playoff action.
So you were encapsulated by it, correct?
100%.
Okay, so when the Blue Jays faced the New York Yankees and they beat the New York Yankees, how did you feel?
Elated.
You felt elated. Did you feel like, oh my God, this is different?
This is remarkable. I am thoroughly entertained by this ball team.
And, because we went into this thing like, oh, they've never won a playoff game and Vladdy doesn't show up and all that kind of stuff. Was that out the window at the New York Yankees series?
It was clear this team had captured lightning in a bottle. This was a very special team.
Again, these are things that I actually said to you. I even used lightning in a bottle when I mentioned that to you, right? But you weren't interested in that bottle. You were more interested in Great Lakes Brewery tall cans than you were in that Blue Jays bottle, correct?
That is correct. At that time, I was not interested in that particular bottle.
Then the Blue Jays faced the Seattle Mariners. That's a rematch of PTSD.
Right.
Right? That was, and we're going to break this down a little bit harder, right? We're going to go into this. But I just want to know, when George Springer hit that home run to take the lead in Game 7, were you cheering, Mike? Were you happy? Were you elated?
It's possible. I collapsed to the ground in pure joy and maybe even shed a tear or two.
Really?
I was all in on the 2025 playoff Toronto Blue Jays.
Then they get to the World Series, Mike.
Yep.
Game 1 of the World Series. What a game that was, correct? You had the Grand Slam. You had heroics. You had a big win. How'd you feel then?
I was thoroughly enjoyed by this. I was thoroughly impressed with the Toronto Blue Jays I saw in the World Series in 2025.
They go to Los Angeles. They go 18 innings. It comes down to their worst pitcher versus our worst pitcher. We'll get into it. But Game 2, Davis Schneider, Vladimir Guerrero go back-to-back to open the game, or Game 3, I should say. Or Game 4, I guess it is, but it's the second game in Los Angeles. Were you elated, Mike, when Vladdy and Davis Schneider went back-to-back? Did you feel this is actually happening?
I considered growing a mustache for Davis Schneider. Absolutely. I actually said those words. Is this happening? Is this real life?
Obviously, the story ends with some heartbreak. But again, we are going to do a deep dive on how we got there. I want to know, Mike, how heartbroken were you when the Blue Jays when they were robbed by the baseball gods, which we will get into. And I'm not just teasing to get people to tune out or tune in or stay tuned. You should stay tuned regardless, because when Stu Stone and Toronto Mike get together, it's explosive content anyways.
Right.
How sad were you, Mike?
It took me a long time. I'm still kind of getting over it. I almost feel this conversation might be triggering me somewhat because of the way we lost in 7. I found it devastating.
Heartbreaking.
My heart was broken.
Devastating was a great word to use. Remarkably
remarkable.
Heartbroken.
It was remarkable.
That was really tough to take. And you want to know why it was so hard to take? Because that's how good these guys were, Mike.
And likable. I want to just throw that in because it's one thing to be good and we all root for winners, right? But what a likable team.
I wish you could check the tape, Mike, because I used those exact words
See,
to
I own it,
describe
though.
this team.
Stu, I own it.
Do you? Because have you admitted it before right now?
I'm not hiding here's the facts. I did for the first time in the life I can remember, which probably starts in 1983. For the first time I can remember, I decided consciously to take the 2025 regular Blue Jay season off. Like, I didn't watch until the last weekend, actually. I didn't watch any games. I didn't listen on the radio. I only consumed what kind of was in my Blue Sky or what was on the WhatsApp group for FOTMs. So I kind of had a sense we were having a good year at some point. But I consciously decided if they make the playoffs, that's when I'll jump on and I'll skip the regular season. And you did come over and tell me I was making a huge mistake because you, for years now, you have believed in Ross Atkins.
And the front office in general.
Well, the GM is Ross Atkins,
yes.
right? Like, so this is the buck stops there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, would you say
Buck Martinez?
Would you say that Ross Atkins did a pretty good job?
Again, this team was not only exciting to watch and a good team, it was a likable team, and whoever's responsible for that, and the buck stops of the GM, right, gets kudos from me. I wish he was here right now. I'd tell that to his face.
Good.
Is he in the driveway?
Coming out right now. Ross, come on
out.
Say hello. No, he's not here, Mike. You want to know why? Because he's skipping the regular season of the Toronto Mike Show, waiting for the playoffs.
He'll be at TMLX
now,
21.
with how likable that you said that this team was and how much fun you enjoyed it. Now, do you regret that you missed out on months of that fun and months of that likability? Because you were invited, Mike, to participate in months of fun and likability and lovability, and it was like and it was like an invitation to Bobcat to come on this show. You just left it unread.
Is he in the driveway?
No.
The first public address announcer in Blue Jays history.
Oh, is that a fact?
1977 at the old Exhibition Stadium. The PA announcer before Murray Eldon was Bob McCowan.
Didn't know that, but did know that you were extended that invitation. Much like Jan Arden was given an invitation to join the Toronto Mike Show. I love these references,
man. You know your
I
shit.
just want to know if you regret it, because I don't know whether Bobcat regrets not coming on. He should.
Okay, so do you want me to be honest, or do you want me to continue with your...
No, I want you to be honest.
Okay, so I consciously took the regular season off. I literally tuned in Sportsnet for the first time since the Oilers lost in, was it 6 games to the Panthers? So I hadn't watched any live sports since then. I took the summer off from all live sports. And the last weekend of the season, I knew I was going to be jumping on the playoff bandwagon and we were winning the AL East. So I definitely tuned into a couple of games that weekend. And then I was all in on the playoffs. But here's what I think I've learned from 2025, and I'm being very sincere and honest with you.
That you were the jinx in previous years?
I was also watching all the regular season games I could in 92 and 93, and I'm wearing this jacket because those two teams actually won the World Series. Now, nothing against it. This team surprised everybody. I talked to Dave Hodge about this yesterday. We'll get back to him. But what I think I've learned about Toronto Mike, if I may speak about myself in the third person, I think I learned that I'm a high-stakes guy. And 162 regular season games, I don't feel I need to be there, because what I learned this year is that I could take the regular season off and I would so quickly know the cast of characters, learn about their personalities, what are they good at, and I feel like this is the life hack I've been looking for. I'm a playoff guy.
Yeah, that's rude.
I'm being honest with you.
No, you represent a lot of people with that sort of sentiment.
Although the dome was full most of the season. I went to a game with my daughter. My oldest daughter took me to a game, which we won. But not only did we win, it was a full dome. I think, what does it fit now? 42,000 or whatever with the renovations and stuff. But it was completely full, and there was an energy in there and a passion. And I will say, that game I was at with my daughter, I said to myself, what a entertaining product your friend Ross Atkins has built for this city. And I realized, no wonder Blue Jays fans get on board for the regular season. This is a lot of fun. But again, I didn't jump on board beyond that until the last weekend of the season, and then, of course, into the playoffs.
Somebody who just jumps aboard during the playoffs, Mike.
Yes, sir.
that's like a bandwagon type of scenario that like I just viewed you as better than that, you know? I just viewed
Well,
you
you were
as
wrong about me,
I
Stu.
held you in high regard. I had you on a pedestal, Mike, that I feel like you've jumped off of the pedestal.
here's the
I didn't
thing.
push you off because it's like people who in the 90s were Yankees fans or Chicago Bulls fans. That's what you are.
I suppose if you want to like apply a label to this, you could say bandwagon jumping. But I actually have never had a problem with bandwagon jumpers, and I think that is often the way to go.
But your name is Toronto Mike, so you're different than Leva Femke.
Absolutely.
You're different than other people who are more than welcome to jump on and off as they please.
Right.
You represent the city. You gave yourself the moniker Toronto Mike.
Well,
I
Rogers
didn't.
doesn't cut me a check to promote their wares.
They shouldn't need to. Your name is Toronto Mike. So if something in Toronto that is happening that is special, that is bringing the community together, because Mike, not to get serious, but there's so many things in the community tearing it apart these
Right.
days.
You're right.
There are so many polarizing things happening on the streets of this city.
You're right.
That are ripping the city apart, making people against each
Stu,
other.
how long was the playoffs? A month?
I'm talking
At
about
least a month? Like, that
there
was a
was
month.
a whole summer of love. There was a whole summer of love that you missed out on
That's
because
true.
you're stubborn. And I hope you learned your lesson. And if that's my goal, is to get through today's program, Mike,
Yeah.
in an amicable way, because I do love you. And I
And I
know
love you
love
too.
I know that we love each other. And
yeah.
sometimes parents fight. And it's not about the kids.
Right.
I want to leave here knowing that you are not hopping off. That whatever goodwill that the Blue Jays have gotten from you, you have learned your lesson, Mike, and you will never hop off because the city needs you as an ambassador to the city, as a guy who goes on CNN representing the country. We need you in our corner. I shouldn't have to beg you.
Right.
So that's what I'm hoping
Okay.
for. And by the end, I'm going to ask you at the end of this broadcast if you're on
Okay.
board for 2026.
Like, I deserve these lumps I'm taking right now, and
I don't even
wore
think
this-
they're lumps. I think this is accurate statements.
See, I'd rather you were mad at me than disappointed in me. Like, this is how you get me. And I just want the listenership to know, if they don't look at our photo by Toronto Tree, I'm a little toasty down here. Shout out to Rob Pruce and Bob Willett. I'm a little toasty in this Blue Jays World Series jacket I'm wearing, and I'm wearing this for you because I will tell you, I was wrong about the 2025 Blue Jays. I was wrong. Words the remarkable one is incapable of saying. I say it to you now, Stu Stone. I was wrong.
Clip that. Because that is historic.
I've been wrong before, and I've
Not
admitted
this
it.
wrong.
I was very wrong about the 2025. I had this chat with Dave Hodge yesterday in April when I decided to opt out. I didn't think this team would make the playoffs.
Yeah, I did.
You did, but you also were bullish on this team for all of the past decade.
No, but
And
like specifically this
we won
year.
our first playoff
No,
game in
because when I went on
2025.
Wilner's podcast this last winter,
Yeah.
that's when I really was like,
Okay.
I see
So
something.
what was different? Here's my question for you, because you were a believer, and I need to disclose you do have a good
It's
personal relationship
it's
with the
irrelevant.
GM.
I think that's
You
irrelevant.
have to disclose that. I'm a journalist.
Sure, but it's irrelevant
Okay,
to
I'm
my
just
opinion.
disclosing that, okay? Because I
Okay.
did see him at your wonderful movie
Fair
premiere.
enough. And he does a great job, but it's
Okay.
me
But
liking
let me
Ross
ask
has
you,
nothing to do
so
with that.
what was different about the 2025
Okay.
team versus the 2024 team that had you believing this team could win a World Series?
Well, I'll tell you what.
He's rolling up his sleeves.
I'm rolling up
everybody.
the sleeves because we're going to get into it now. Okay?
Okay, we'll start now.
So if you're
Should I
not
record this?
if you're not into deep dives on the 2025 Toronto Blue Jays World Series run, this is not an episode for you.
right,
Okay?
right.
This is for those of us who did fall in love with this team early.
Right.
Even for some of the bandwagoners out there who I have love for that are listening right now.
That's Leve Fumka. She's actually
Sure.
on the live stream admitting
and
I am
love
a bandwagoner.
and I love her.
And I love being in the same camp as her.
Well, I don't think that you deserve to be in the same camp as her
And I'll
because
see her
her
tomorrow.
name is not Toronto Leva Femke. That's you.
North York Leve.
Yes. I would like to say that we're going to heal together. Okay? I too have PTSD. I am triggered just thinking about the brutal way in which we were rug pulled. But it wouldn't hurt that much if we didn't love it so much. You know what I mean? If I wasn't so in love with and so invested in it and had so much passion for it, it wouldn't hurt at all. So the fact that it hurts just exemplifies that we bleed Blue Jays blue and the people who are hurt and have the PTSD, they can relate. So I'm hoping, Mike, although we've gotten off on the wrong foot here, and I've been, quite aggressive with you.
Yes.
My plan is to leave here and be more passively aggressive with you and to be more on the same level of, we're going to leave here with some kumbaya, with some love, and with some understanding that we all went through this together, even you, Mike.
I was on board for the entire playoff run.
I understand they say rip the Band-Aid off, but we're not going to do that, Mike, because the Band-Aid's still on. We're going to peel it off slowly. It's going to hurt. But by the time this episode is over, hopefully the Band-Aid is off and we're ready to move forward into the future with new starting pitcher that they just signed.
Yeah, huge.
With a big exciting news that came first. This is a different thing now than it was at the beginning of last year. Now, the first inkling that I really, truly believed in this team, okay? The first inkling, it goes beyond the hyperbole when I'm in the winter with Wilner. And I'm saying the Jays are great and,
right.
Blah, blah, blah. That's fantastic.
Because 2024 season, let's remind the listenership,
They were in last place.
was disappointing.
Correct.
Didn't make the playoffs.
No. But that happens.
What was different in the 2025 squad? Because many of us, and maybe you were different, many of us thought George Springer had aged out of excellence and was basically done.
There were a couple of factors that were different going into this season. One of the main factors, they got a new hitting coach. They brought in a new hitting coach, which maybe they should have done sooner, Mike. Mm-hmm. But there's a loyalty that the front office has to folks, and God bless them for that.
God bless them.
I wish you were as loyal to the Blue Jays as the Blue Jays were as loyal to some of their coaches.
Well, they're compensated better, but keep going.
Fair enough. They brought in a new hitting coach, so that was an interesting thing. Bo Bichette was healthy. Mm-hmm. He wasn't last year, or 2024, I should say.
Right.
The real thing that really made me feel like there's like some 2015 energy here was when Yankees pitcher Garrett Cole was injured for the season. That happened in the spring. When Garrett Cole was injured and the Yankees lost their ace, that's like a 5-game swing. That's like he would have won them at least 5 games, if not more.
Right.
There's your shot right there. I knew that the Red Sox, they just brought in Bregman.
But you still have to execute,
hold
right?
on. They didn't improve.
I should get out of the way.
Tampa didn't really do anything to improve. The Orioles got worse. The Blue Jays, even though Santander got hurt, but going into the season, the Blue Jays they got better on paper. But there was still some disarray. I think once that Vladimir Guerrero Jr. deal got signed, we turned a corner because there was this cloud of negativity hanging over the team, around the front office, and even reluctantly, if the front office reluctantly got, put in a corner to make that deal happen from ownership, from fans, from people who don't know as well as they do, whatever the case may be, the deal got done. Reluctantly or not, the deal got done. Instantly, you now have Vladimir Guerrero for 14 more years. Now, people at that point were saying, oh, wow, what a terrible, overpay. Vladdy can't win. People like you, what's he doing in the playoffs?
I did not say this, Stu Stone. Let's be fair.
This guy's a double play machine.
Let's be fair.
Vladdy's not even that good.
How dare you?
That's what people were saying. Maybe not you specifically.
Maybe other people, not me.
People who were saying that they know who they are. They know who they are. Listen, Addison Barger wasn't on the opening day roster of this team. Ernie Clement was a role player that, I happen to know that the Blue Jays were very high on him for years.
But he had been cut a couple of times, right?
But
those are 2 names I'm glad you mentioned, because who saw that happening with Barger and Clement?
Well, I know Russ saw that happening, that's for sure, especially with Ernie Clement, because he could have traded Ernie last year in 2024 and decided to hang on to him, knowing what a ball player that guy is. You had a real the entire roster chipped in on this thing, Mike, throughout the regular season. Everybody stepped up and had moments. Miles Straw, who was a throwaway insult.
Yeah, quadruple A player.
A guy who they were like, they should fire everybody for making that deal.
Wilner wrote it in the Star.
He did. Miles Straw was a savior for a lot of this season. When Dalton Varsho got injured, who was playing beautiful defense, getting timely hits, making stuff happen throughout the season? Miles Straw was a valuable player for the Blue Jays. And that's a guy that basically exemplifies the entire run of the team. There was a chip on our shoulder that we wanted to prove to people like maybe you, but the haters out there,
Sure.
prove them wrong. There was a lot of dogs on the Blue Jays, and that's something that the Toronto Maple Leafs are missing right now. There's a lot of dogs on the Blue Jays. Nathan Lucas,
Another good example.
Davis Schneider, Ernie Clement, Barger.
See, in April, those are just guys.
Those are just guys, but they're dogs, Mike. And you didn't know it yet.
No, I didn't.
But the whole world knows it now. We'll get to that.
Right.
George Springer, what a renaissance.
I know.
George Springer, what a renaissance. The last time
Remarkable.
George Springer played like that, people were hitting trash cans.
That's true.
This guy is something else. And what a player. And I think it has to do with like the chemistry in the team. I mean, you had guys that were not playing as individuals. They were playing for each other. Everybody got in the lineup, Mike. I know during the playoffs you saw it, but during the regular season, Mike, there was no bench players. Everybody played almost every game. That's pretty amazing. And like that speaks to an organizational depth. That speaks to a manager that believes in every one of his players. Everybody got in. Everybody was a part of it.
And everything broke right. Like again, all due respect to the wonder that is your friend Ross Atkins, who did a great job, of course. But like everything had to break our way. And if you look at it, all the things that had to break our way, like I'm talking about like a Trey Savage. Like was he projected to be part of a playoff run in 2025?
Trey is the man. Okay.
We know that now.
We were told the Blue Jays have no farm system. The Blue Jays do a terrible job drafting. You've had guests on this show say those exact words, Mike. The Blue Jays have nothing in the cupboard.
Right.
What a terrible job this front office has done with the prospects.
Right.
Trey Savage is a one of one. This guy looks like Mike, this guy broke records.
I know.
Untouchable.
I was watching.
Now, who knows if that's going to continue? One would hope. But boy, oh boy. Listen, for Vladimir Guerrero Jr.'s sake, this guy could bat 110 with 2 home runs in the regular season if he's going to do that in the playoffs. This guy had a historic... Reggie Jackson is blushing looking at the postseason that Vladimir Guerrero had. But I digress.
This is true.
These guys did it, and I think I told you this last time, with no real superstar performances. Right? Vladimir Guerrero Jr. didn't have some MVP type season.
No, I'd say Springer was better in the regular season.
Springer got 7th place MVP votes this year, but you didn't have, there wasn't somebody that was heading like there was no Ohtani, there's no Aaron Judge, there's no Kyle Schwarber,
right.
There's nobody that's just Cal Raleigh, there's no pitcher that's, there's nobody. It's a team that is doing this, right? That's why I said that this Blue Jays team might have been the best one I'd ever seen. Because it wasn't built with stars like that. The 93 Blue Jays, Ricky Henderson and Paul Molitor, and the list goes on. Dave Stewart, etc. This was a team of dogs, Mike.
Don't forget Robbie Alomar.
Robbie Alomar, for sure. This was a team of dogs, Mike. And the Yankees hung around all the way till that last weekend. But when it came down to it, the Blue Jays got it done. They got that home field advantage. Now, let's get into the playoffs here real quick because we don't want to stay here all day. But I believe, Mike, that the playoff, or the baseball gods as they were. Do you believe in God, Mike?
Of course not.
But you do believe in the baseball gods.
No, but I do believe we were awfully unlucky. Otherwise, we'd be talking about the 2025 World Series champion, Toronto Blue Jays.
I believe if we were supposed to win the World Series this year, there was 5 or 6 times that it would have and should have happened, and it just wasn't supposed to be us, for whatever reason that is, because so many things, especially in Game 6 and 7, happened that have less than a 1% chance of happening, Mike. I play in this so-called nerd league that Wilner calls it, which is we play this really intense analytical baseball league that I'm in with Wilner and Scotty Mack and some other...
Yeah, and Scotty Mack went into some detail about this league.
And I love those guys, by the way. I know that...
Well, he's listening right now. Hello to Scotty Mack, a beloved FOTM.
And a beloved friend of mine. I will say that
I know.
I'm
reading a comment that came in, but go on.
The chances of a lot of these things happening, Mike, in that nerd baseball game, you would have like a 1% chance of rolling the dice to get these types of outcomes. A bizarre roll, we would call it.
Right.
It's almost like it can't happen. That happened to the Blue Jays over and over and over again. Let's go back to it just in general. I know that everybody knows this because they watch the game, but if in case they're casuals and they just want to like relive this together so that we can get over this together, that's the goal, to get over this pain together and move forward together, Mike. All the games that the Blue Jays won against the Dodgers in the World Series, they handily won those games. The games that the Dodgers won were squeakers that they shouldn't have even won.
Right.
If we look at that 18-inning game, Mike, which I brought up earlier, where it came down to Toronto's arguably worst pitcher against their worst pitcher, and their worst pitcher decided to be Sandy Koufax that night, we could have won that game.
Absolutely.
We should have won that game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Davis Schneider got sent home and slid into home, but there was plays that could have gone one way or another in that game.
They continue to haunt me.
So that's that. But let's get to game 6 and 7 where we really should have had this happen. You know, I want to look at a couple of plays that weren't as famous as some of the others. You know, you have George Springer and Bo Bichette both getting caught on the base when the umpire had a delayed strike 3 call that could have been ball 4.
It's funny I remember that for Bo Bichette, but I don't remember a delayed strike 3 call that was called a ball. I don't remember that for the Springer pickoff.
Well,
I actually just had this chat with, I've had it with many people since it happened, but George Springer, a veteran who has won a World Series, is 35, 36 years old. That guy knows baseball. It's game 7 of the World Series. It's bizarre to me that he got caught making a mental mistake like that.
Well, I think he read what the batter was doing, which was that it was ball 4, and the batter was heading to first base.
But you will admit that is
that's a mental error, sure, but it's still something that doesn't happen.
You're right.
George Springer having that brain fart, that's a 1% chance of him having that brain fart.
You're right.
You know, not to mention other sort of key scoring opportunities where balls were lined directly into gloves of players, where Bo Bichette could have scored had he not had an injured knee from when he was running in the game, and that all comes down to
he was slower than Kirk in that series.
That all comes down to a send in New York where he was sent to try to score a run against the Yankees a month earlier. We're going to ignore all of that stuff and get into the real nitty-gritty of, first of all, how Game 6 ended.
Well, are you going to talk about the wedge?
Well, first of all, that wedge. What are the chances of that happening?
Have you ever seen it before?
I have not seen it like that happen before.
I had Dave Perkins. Oh, no, this hadn't happened. Yeah, so that was Game 6 of wedge, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I think it was the eve of Game 6 I had, so never mind this. Except I have talked to many people who have seen many a game at the Dome, and nobody can remember seeing a wedge like that.
I mean, we have seen, there's highlights that have surfaced online since that happened of it happening against the Blue Jays, where the Blue Jays, it got wedged in the wall against the Blue Jays.
At the Dome?
Not at the Dome.
See,
on
that's
the road.
The difference, yeah.
I hear you, but I'm just saying,
right.
The ball was wedged, and the Blue Jays outfielder sort of put his hands up, and the umpire came and was like,
play the ball.
That didn't happen here.
Right.
The chances of that ball hitting that spot, come on, Mike.
No, I know. That's unbelievable.
The chances of a game ending on that double play.
Right.
That has not happened since 1962, I think they said. That double play has ended a game in a World Series game like that. That just does not happen. That their outfielder, Kike Hernandez, ignored his coach's instructions and played shallow there, despite them telling him not to do that. And somehow we get a bad read on that. It sounded like the ball got barreled, but Barger got a bad read and it got thrown on a double play to end that game. That was, first of all, both games ending on a double play.
And that's never happened, I don't think.
Both 6 and 7 ended
Dave
on
Hodge
double plays.
That, yeah.
Unbelievable. Game 7, I mean, listen. If IKF is an inch taller, I know. If IKF is an inch,
yeah,
you're talking about an inch.
I say centimeters, but yeah. Remarkable.
That's unbelievable. That's unbelievable. Let's talk about the 9th when Vladimir Guerrero Jr. comes up in the bottom of the 9th with the game tied and he unloads on a baseball and sends it to center field. Mike, there were 6 hits in 2025 with that speed off the bat and that launch angle off the bat, okay? 4 of them were home runs. 1 of them was Vladdy's pop-out. So that means only 1 other time was a ball hit like that where it was not a home run in the entire season.
This exercise, which I want you to complete, is torturous.
It is torturous.
But I couldn't listen to this episode.
But at the end, we're all going to realize that, like, I have an angle here to tie it all together nicely. Okay.
Did you talk about Clement's hit?
We haven't even gotten there yet, Mike.
The hip check, as I call it.
The fact that Dave Roberts made a defensive change right before that.
I know.
Brought in the center fielder who had to travel from Kipling and Kennedy all the way to the other side of town in rush hour. I don't even know how he made that catch. That should have ended the game right there. The fact that he literally Ulf Samuelson, his own player, Mike. I know. Scott Stevens, his own player, Mike. I'm trying to come up with the reference that really hits you.
Right on Lindros, yeah.
It's unbelievable that was caught.
It's remarkable.
Unbelievable. The fact that Alejandro Kirk, one of our best contact hitters, his bat breaks on the final swing of the season. Imagine that. His bat breaks, Mike. A broken bat grounder that Dan Schulman telegraphed on the broadcast, which I wish he hadn't, but that's, sometimes how it goes. These are all things that just don't happen, man. They just don't happen. And
but they did happen.
Of course. And
the fact is, because there were some rumblings after this game that, what a likable team, what a great run. We should have a parade anyway. I don't know your thoughts on that, but my initial guttural reaction is no fucking way are we having a parade, because you have a parade when you win the championship.
Yeah,
and as exciting as this was, and as close as it was, we are not the champions.
But I do think that, you look back at 2015 and people remember the Jose Bautista bat flip home run.
Sure.
What a moment. Toronto was back in the saddle.
Right.
Blue Jays didn't make it to the World Series that year, and you think about that team with such high regard. This is a team that should have won the World Series. I mean, this is like 1985 Jays against Royals. This is like 1987 Jays against Detroit Tigers, but
right.
but more.
Right.
This is a team that took the Los Angeles Dodgers you can't go any further. You cannot play more baseball. You would have to play extra. Any second
extra
longer of
innings
baseball.
In Game 7.
Exactly. You cannot push the defending champions further than what the Blue Jays did. And at the end of the day, Yamamoto did things that, again, 1% chance type stuff. Jack Morris, we remember historically pitching the 10 innings against when he was with the Twins. I don't know if you remember that.
Of course I do. I'm older than you, Stu.
Of course, but I don't know. Maybe you were taking the year off. People remember Randy Johnson. Yamamoto is pretty remarkable that he was able to pitch the next day, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
The fact that the Dodgers they went to their bullpen, Mike, 3 times from their starter in Game 7 and only used their starting rotation. They did not use a traditional relief pitcher at all in Game 7. They dumped their whole payroll of pitching onto the Blue Jays, and we still took them to arguably what should have been a winning Game 7. Not arguably, they should have won.
Do you think Dave Roberts outmanaged John Schneider?
I think that it's like that baseball god's luck, because
but you do know there are no baseball gods.
Well, there are, Mike. See, that's the problem. Eventually, you're going to have
a disconnect.
There's
Our
hockey gods.
Faulty.
There's hockey gods. There's baseball gods.
But what do they do? They watch and then they say, "Let me fuck with Stu Stone."
Not Stu Stone specifically, but they know that we're all watching and we're all invested, and it's just more fun to label that. I think it's more of a term than it is an actual thing.
This is what we like about live sport. This is what we like about sports in general, is that things will happen that you didn't see coming. Dave
Roberts has had plenty of games where he makes those same decisions and loses 8 out of the 10 times that those happen. Okay, every team has the same issues, and I think I said this to you again. Like, I'm not trying to sound like repeat because I was on this show before. I'm a Hall of Famer, Mike. I've been on this show many times.
You are. You're an FOTM Hall of Famer.
But I will say that if when I was in Los Angeles or I was traveling, which I'm still leaving again to go travel, and I'm watching local sports coverage of the local baseball teams throughout the year.
Sure.
Every team has their closer blow games. Every team has the manager make a wrong pitching change or calling for a bunt or making a wrong call. Every team goes through this. It's like, how do you come back from it? The Blue Jays were able to bounce back from adversity over and over and over and over again, especially on that playoff run, that even when Jeff Hoffman throws not his best pitch against their number 9 hitter,
Rojas,
who has a 125 career average against that pitch with 0 home runs. What are the chances of that guy hitting a home run there?
Lest we forget, because you're doing what I'm doing. Is and I have my kids. I had my 9-year-old and my 11-year-old fully invested, and we're watching. And I'm like, you guys are going to witness something I got to enjoy as a teenager. You're going to watch the Blue Jays win a World Series, and I will say we're counting down the outs. And just yesterday, they both told me, or maybe it was 2 days ago, they both told me that apparently when we entered the 9th, we got the first out. So there's 2 outs to go, and we're World Series champions.
Right.
But at that moment, and then back to you, that moment, apparently I start running around the house with my hands in my air like this, going, this is happening. This is happening. They both were very excited to remind me. I had no memory of this, but apparently this is happening, and then Rojas goes deep, and then the rest is history. Back to you, Stu.
So it is your fault.
Yeah. I'll take the hit on that one. Sure.
My point is,
Very
even
powerful.
after Hoffman gave that up, we didn't lose hope. The bottom of the ninth, the Jays came up. They loaded the bases, Mike.
Right.
They could have, it's just like. Anyway, I'm gonna use a wrestling analogy because that's what I do.
Right.
That's how I explain life's complicated intricacies to you, Mike. I use wrestling.
Right.
And I've been talking to friends leading up to this appearance, saying and testing this out and saying, like, I'm going to go on, I can't wait to go on Toronto Mike and use this on Toronto Mike. I also have some Oasis stuff I want to say later, too, because I went to that concert.
Yeah, I want to hear about it.
But that was already a long time ago. But
and that!
Yeah. But real quick, let's use this wrestling analogy. You have a mid-card act. Someone who's like not
Special Delivery Jones.
No, that's an enhancement talent. Is it? Yeah, middle of the card sort of act, like someone like a Chris Jericho or Mick Foley, Mankind. Okay. You've heard of these guys?
Yes, I've heard of both those guys.
Okay.
Yes.
Jeff Hardy. You've heard of the Hardys?
No, I don't actually know the Hardys.
But you know Mick Foley.
Yeah.
Mankind. So let's use him as an example. Mick Foley, a great act, beloved wrestling figure, but somebody who was not in the main event of any company's plans. Just a guy that would do exciting things, daredevil, give the fans their money's worth. Not a guy that's closing out the card. Right. Even his infamous Hell in a Cell match, Mike, that we did a Dark Side of the Ring episode on last season, which I encourage everybody to watch on Crave.
Absolutely.
We did a full documentary on this match I'm talking about, Hell in a Cell, where he faces the Undertaker and gets thrown off the cage. You might know this. Do you remember this? Do you have any recollection of what I'm talking about?
Remember, I tap out in 88
Fair enough,
or something.
but there's this just monumental match that Mick Foley has against the Undertaker.
Okay.
It's a Hell in a Cell match where Foley gets thrown off the top of the cage, thrown through the cage, slammed onto thumbtacks. Just crazy stuff happens in this match. Mike, that was not even the main event of that show. But do you know what happened after that? Even in losing that match to the Undertaker, Mankind, Mick Foley, became a main eventer. He was elevated even in a loss, Mike. He was elevated to become a mainstay. 6 months later, he was the WWF champion. Now he's a Hall of Famer. He has gone on to become one of the most infamous professional wrestlers in the history of the business, Mike. All because of when he had a chance to shine and face main event competition, he lived up to the moment. And not only did he lose that match, but he actually won. Sometimes when you lose, you really win, Mike. And I'm going to tell you in baseball, especially in Toronto, when we are the forgotten stepchild of the big bad baseball world, we are sort of like laughed upon. We are,
the only team that's not based in the United States of America.
Correct. And so Americans have a fun time with that and convincing players to even go to a different country.
But we do have the 5th highest payroll.
Sure. But that doesn't, the Raptors, other than the Toronto Maple Leafs, which even they have trouble nowadays, free agents don't typically come to Canada.
That's correct.
When the Raptors won the championship, Mike, they didn't sign Kawhi Leonard. They forced him to come here.
You're right.
And when they tried to get him to stay, that didn't happen.
Right.
You know, Brandon Ingram, the Raptors are a wagon, by the way. You should jump on now.
So
Brandon Ingram is a guy that wants to be here. Vladimir Guerrero is a guy that wants to. Anyway, there are people like that exist.
Right.
But the Blue Jays, even in losing to the Dodgers, have won in many other ways. They have earned the respect of the baseball world. Not only are they main eventers now, any free agent that you hear about where we used to be laughed at, we're now mentioned. You name a free agent. That's
Dylan Cease.
We signed him. But I'm saying, like, back in the day, they'd be like, oh, Shohei Ohtani or Juan Soto, the Jays are in on him. The Jays are in on him. The Jays were second place, third place. Oh, the Jays are in on this guy. The Jays are in on everybody. But now the Jays are really in, and players will actually want to come here because they just saw the fight that this team just put up, the fan base that was so electric, Mike. That was so a building that it was shaking.
Yep.
Shaking, Mike. They saw love in a clubhouse. They saw Max Scherzer, who's a fucking maniac. Even he said this was the best experience of his baseball career. You had Chris Bassett crying that he may not be back again. Ernie Clement crying that he just wanted another hour with these guys.
Love that guy.
This is a special thing, Mike, that people will want to be a part of now. Now you have mainstream sports media, not just Wilner and the Canadian writers. They all know who Vladimir Guerrero is now if they didn't before. They all know Ernie Clement's name now. They all know who Trey Savage is now. Shane Bieber opted out of a chance to make hundreds of millions of dollars to stay on this team another season, Mike. There's something special happening now. And unless you live in Los Angeles, most people were cheering for the Toronto Blue Jays to win that World Series and beat the evil empire of the Los Angeles Dodgers. I understand we have a big high payroll, but perception is everything. We are underdogs. Our best signing, Anthony Santander, was injured. We had replacements. We had lovable scrubs, Mike, dogs that came together to form Voltron.
Grab them cakes.
To grab them cakes. I would say that a lot of good has come out of this. The Blue Jays are on the map in a major, real way. We are legit. I would be shocked next season. Here you go. I would be shocked, Mike, if the dome is empty even a handful of times next season. That's how exciting this is. And for us to start the day before American Thanksgiving with a signing, a 7-year commitment to one of the game's premier strikeout pitchers, a guy who's led the league in starts over and over again, a workhorse, coming off probably not his best season, but these guys know what they're looking at. They know what car they're buying, Mike. They know what's under the hood.
I'm about to handle my business. In the morning, I'ma beg for the Lord's forgiveness.
And we are celebrating. But the Blue Jays are here, Mike. The Blue Jays are here, and they're here to stay.
I'm never going to doubt you again, Stu Stone.
You got 14 more years of Vlad, Mike. You got 5 more years of Alejandro Kirk at a bargain. Andres Jimenez, who people were shitting all over, arguably is taking Bo Bichette's job at shortstop.
Do we re-sign Bo Bichette?
I'd like to, but, I mean, if Bo wants to play shortstop, it might not happen here. What do you think about that?
I think if he signs here, he has to move to second base.
Yeah, so I don't know that he wants to do that. And I feel like if Bo signs with the Yankees, he'll get booed. He'll be Boo Bichette. The Dodgers have Mookie Betts playing short. They could put Bo there. But yeah, I'm very excited about this team. I'm bullish on the Blue Jays. I don't know if they're going to win the World Series next year, Mike. I want them to, but I think they're going to be in the mix for years to come. Not just days. I'm talking not just months, I'm talking years. This is going to be a team that is in the mix for years to come, Mike. Of course, you're listening to Kid on Christmas.
Give me another round.
And there you go.
I said we gon' pound.
Anyway.
Listen to that flow. Move over, Bo Bichette. There's a new flow in town.
You know, you look at other sports too, like, you know, people get to the championship, they lose, they come back stronger, and they win. You know, like, it's all about how you get up off the mat. And the Jays have proved that they could get up off the mat over and over again. Why should this be any different? I'm disappointed in the Jays not winning the World Series. I'm equally as disappointed in you for not believing that they could do it.
So I hear.
But I will say, Mike, that I do feel I've gotten a little bit of a weight off of my shoulders here already. Just in coming and confronting you in person has been healthy for me and my mental health towards this team. And just pointing out the fact that there are positives. It's not silver lining here. This is platinum lining. That the Blue Jays have so much goodwill right now, not only with the city of Toronto and the country of Canada, but in the world of baseball. People don't want to see the Yankees and the Dodgers. They want to see the Blue Jays. Do you agree with that?
I think if you're outside of New York and outside of LA, I think it's easy to hate those two big spending.
But do you think that there's a lot of goodwill now?
Yeah, I think a lot of America was rooting for the Blue Jays because they're a likable team. They're not the Dodgers, and they're fun to watch.
Let's talk about what a prick Rance Mulliniks is.
Excellent, because Rance was a great guest. And he was on the show just last week.
He's not a prick, but I did listen to Rance, and I did listen to Hebsy, and I've listened. I'm on the road, and I'm exercising.
I know, that means a lot to me, because I don't know if Stu Stone is tuning in.
I tune in when there's an appetite and somebody's on there that I'm like, oh, I can't wait to hear this.
Did you hear the Dave Perkins, Bob Elliott primer? It was it was Halloween, so I thought we were going to win the series in 6. I really believed in this team finishing it in Game 6, and I had Dave Perkins and Bob Elliott in the basement just prior to that. I thought that was appropriate because they were beside each other in the press box the last time the Jays won the World Series.
Wow. So this is, again, it's your fault. You really
I'll take the hit.
Hopped on the bandwagon late and just infused all this stuff.
Everyone listening, Stu, has the same question for you. I waited 51 minutes before asking you this big question, but I want to credit Heyref on the live stream for being the first to ask it. But everyone is thinking this. Will we see Stu Stone tomorrow at Palma's Kitchen for TMLX 21?
Sadly, you will not. But I will definitely... I mean, I'm here now.
And I love seeing you, man. I just want you to know, I love it when you drop by.
This is the warm-up for that event, which is
But you're out, you have a good excuse for tomorrow?
Yes, of course I do. There's nowhere else I'd rather be, Mike.
Okay.
I'd rather be
because Hebsy will be there tomorrow. Well, and Mike Richards.
And I also love listening to you say the word Zeta over and over again on the Hebsy episode, talking about his...
Because I read his book, and his Zeta was a bookie.
His grandfather, the bookie. But it's nice to hear you say Zeta. Shout out to Hebsy. Rance Mulliniks, let's talk about that for a second.
Sure, go ahead.
You know, can you imagine if you were to ask me if, like, Bob Willett should be in the Toronto Mike Hall of Fame?
Right, which I was going to ask you.
And I would so bluntly just say no.
I know. That was the moment. I'm like, whoa.
What are you kidding me?
But that tells you what a jerk Dave Stieb was.
Was he?
According to Hebsy, he was.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, apparently not a nice guy.
Is that a fact?
Yeah. I mean, he wasn't nice to reporters. Anyways, ask any reporter who covered him. Some were okay with him, but people like Hebsy will tell you he was an asshole. I can make him bring this up tomorrow at TMLX 21.
Tomorrow I'll be perfect?
Yeah, well, he was a great pitcher, and he was a feisty competitor.
Did you read
but
that book?
I don't remember reading it, but I definitely.
Do you have a copy? It seems like that should be something that's like right there.
It should be here.
Yeah.
I know.
And it's like him, and I think he's got like a jacket. I was with Cam Gordon earlier in the week, and he reminded me of the cover.
Cam, I got to ask you a question from the live stream.
Okay.
It's a gentleman named Sean Pasternak.
Sean's the man. Yep.
Does Stu still have quote unquote heat with Cam Gordon over the overtime sports talk brouhaha of 1993?
Yeah. I've gotten over that heat.
Can you tell us what we're talking about? Because Live Fumka wants to know. What are we talking about?
Yeah, because Cam Gordon, myself, and Ryan Pasternak, and Sean, who's he's a overtime sports talk.
Any relation to Courtney Pasternak, who is married now to Ralph Benmergui?
I wish, but I don't think so. I think.
Okay,
Sean
I gotta ask these tough
mentioned
questions.
Ralph
Sean, let us know if you're related to Courtney Pasternak.
But Sean, a great guy, also talented writer, reporter, musician in his own right. But he is referring to an incident where there was a heated argument on the air between myself, Cam, and Ryan that led to almost some wrestling-type antics that got a little
Was it a work or a shoot?
It was like a work shoot.
Okay.
Where
I've had a few of those.
Where Steve Kersner, who you've had on the show this year as well.
Had the sock.
It was too much for him. and he put us on suspension
That's wild.
because we got a little bit too chaotic there.
This is at Newton Cable?
This is at Newton Cable with the brouhaha.
Legendary.
Got a little too crazy. I believe there may have been someone hit with a chair. Some wrestling type of performative work
Don't
there.
piss off Cam. He looks like, because he seems so calm, right? I feel like if you just push him over the line, that guy's going to snap.
So, yeah, Rance Molyneux doesn't think that... Well, listen, Dave Steeb's personality shouldn't have anything to do with whether he's in the Hall
we
of
live in
Fame
the
or
real
not.
I agree with you, but that's like that scene in Philadelphia where he goes, we don't see sexual preference in this courtroom. And then he goes, unfortunately, we don't live in this courtroom. Right? Like, the fact is... People hold grudges, and I don't like that prick, and then that's what they think about.
Yeah, but he didn't. He when you asked him that, he didn't say, "Well, he was a prick."
No,
he
of course
said,
not.
And Rance Molyneux, by the way,
Yeah.
the type of guy that pronounces his H's in words that start with W, like he's like what,
Like Hank Hill.
what, will, when, why, what. Like he's one of those
Yeah.
type guys, which I totally respect.
Yeah.
He's just like a guy that I'd love to like play chess in the park with, type of
Right.
demeanor.
Right.
But Rance. He didn't say he's a jerk. He said that the numbers don't support it.
No, not enough wins.
Yeah, that's crazy. You would think that somebody that's like, an
Well, that's
alumni.
why I did push back a bit. I'm like, well, the modern thinking is we overrated.
Yeah, I saw
wins.
you did. You
Yeah.
pushed back, but he wasn't buying what you were selling. I
No,
was
he
a little.
wasn't.
It was a little shocking to hear. It was a little shocking to hear Rance say that. I got to be honest, a little off-putting.
That was the moment. By the way, Sean Pasternak has chimed in to say, no relation to Courtney, although we were randomly in the same class at Thornlea Secondary School. What were the odds? I had a nice dinner with Courtney Pasternak and Ralph Benmergui.
Better chance of a ball getting wedged than Sean and Courtney being in a class together.
Hey, and Hey Ref wants to know, where was the Newton broadcast studio?
It was in like the Bathurst Manor kind of area, where like Finch and Bathurst sort of
Okay.
area, if I recall.
Because we had our own Cable 10 here I was on the other side of the Humber when I was growing up, like Jane and Dundas area, and they had a location on Scarlet Road, like where Dundas and Scarlet Road meet. There was a Cable 10.
Well, before we had the Overtime Sports Talk show, I was about to sneeze.
Gesundheit in advance.
Thank you. Cam and myself and Ryan, we went to the Fan 590 to try to pitch a radio show, like for kids, by kids kind
To
of vibe.
Nelson Millman?
I don't remember who it was that we pitched to, but we went into the studio. We recorded like a little like teaser.
Wow.
I know Cam did it again without me in the future. But
Who replaced you?
he didn't so much as replace me. He just like did it with someone else. Because like Overtime Sports Talk had already happened.
Probably
at that
Pagan
point.
or Dobigan or something.
Right. And we made the mistake. I think we would have booked the show right then and there, but we made the mistake as young, teens would of running our mouths in a way that was not great. Like there was a guy named Jim Hunt. You remember Jim Hunt? Shaky Hunt.
Often
Well,
co-host of Primetime Sports.
Yeah, so we
with
were
Bob
very
McCollum.
critical of Shaky Hunt as youngsters. There you go. Thought that he had lost, it had passed him by.
Yeah.
And I think that they thought we were arrogant for saying that. So maybe that's why we didn't get that job. But we ended up going to Kersner over at Newton Cable with our idea. We had the sponsorship from some of the local baseball card shops, including my dad at the time. And
Sluggers.
And we went into the studio, and Kersner gave us a shot, and we lasted. We were on there for a while. I would dare say we were pulling Wilner ratings.
Yeah, he had Let's Talk Sports with Aaron. Give me a second here. Aaron
Near Wilmington, yes.
near
By the way,
Wilmington.
hey, Ref.
Yeah, that's for Hey Ref. Aaron Lobel. Does that name mean anything to you?
It doesn't sound...
Okay, I believe I used to watch on Cable 10 a show called Let's Talk Sports with Mike Wilner and Aaron Lobel. Yeah. This is all, I love this stuff. Okay.
So tomorrow at
Yeah.
TMLX, you're going to have Hebsy versus Perry.
Elvis,
Lefko
you mean? Oh, Lefko, yeah.
in a battle of the books.
Well, Lefko will probably... Right. Okay, so it's going to be great because Hebsy's going to be there and he's going to be signing books. But there's a whole... If I told you the people, like, we're going to have a 1993 Blue Jays World Series champion is going to be there.
Say that one more time.
A 1993 Blue Jay World Series champion will be at TMLX 21 tomorrow.
I won't spoil it, but I know who it is.
And you would be correct on that front. And he can't wait. He loves his palma pasta. But I mean, the cast of people who say they're going to be there, Pete Fowler, do you know this
Wow,
name?
yeah.
I mean, I need him there for security. It's going to be bananas. Elvis is my co-host because this is interesting. I can't get former or present Toast/Pandemic Friday co-host to show up at this thing. I can't get Stu Stone.
Well,
Sounds like
I
you're on the
understand
road.
why I can't, but why can't the others?
Well, I don't know. Cam Gordon won't be there, but he's in town. I know that. And I know that Bob Willett might have a good excuse in that he might be on the air at Indy 88, which is a damn good excuse. And Rob Bruce is busy on Broadway, which is a good excuse as well.
What's he doing on Broadway?
Mamma Mia.
Holy shit.
But he does the music.
That's amazing.
It is amazing. Yeah, he's
Wait, on actual Broadway?
the real Broadway. Yeah.
So how does he do Toast?
Well, his mom, so a key detail here is his mom lives in Burlington. So once a month, he does a road trip from where he lives, I think in Queens or Brooklyn, I don't even know, one of those two boroughs. He makes the road trip to Burlington to see his mom, and then he comes and does Toast. So once a week, he's in the basement, even though he lives in New York City.
Wait, so that's crazy.
Yeah.
Talk about commitment.
Yeah, no, he's, by the way, should he be in the Toronto Mic'd Hall of Fame? Rob Bruce?
Just based on what you just said, yes.
You know what? You're right. I got to think on all this stuff because at some point, Rob Bruce does. He made the new closing theme, which you'll hear at the end of this episode.
I've heard it. I love it.
Okay, yeah. I mean, Rob Bruce, if he doesn't get in the FOTM Hall of Fame, like who does, right? Like it's a place for the greats, and he's absolutely one of the greats.
Ooh, can you give us the entire list of Hall of Famers at the moment that currently exists,
Okay.
ranked from
I'll
best?
do it from memory. Yeah,
Ranked from
I'll
best
go in
to
order,
worst?
not best to worst, but from first to last. Okay, the first FOTM Hall of Famer.
And can I comment on each one?
Yeah, Ed Conroy from Retro, Ontario.
Okay, well, that guy's a Hall of Famer in life, by the way. Just unbelievable.
He is remarkable, and he will be on Toronto Mic'd for a annual Christmas Crackers episode, and I'm here now to tell everybody that Ed Conroy, Retro Ontario, Christmas Crackers will record. In fact, I even know
Is he
it's
bringing
volume
up?
7.
Is he bringing up like?
The 22nd of December, he'll be on the
Is
show.
he bringing up? Retro Christmas pop culture moments.
See, he will decide the theme, but I really do hope it is that exactly. So,
Well, might I suggest he take a look at a film called Saint Nicholas and the Children? Saint Nicholas and the Children. Worth checking out.
okay. Second FOTM Hall of Famer was 1236's own Mark Weisblot.
Now, Mark Weisblot probably would have Rance Mullenixed me, but I won't do the same to him.
He's a big stew head.
He should be in the Hall of Fame, definitely.
Well, he's in it.
Yeah,
he's
no,
in
I'm
it.
saying that's
Although he
deservedly
didn't
so.
make an appearance.
And there's a guy who's an asshole to the press.
Yeah, he
He's the
asked
Dave
Cumberland
Steve-
Fred about him. Yeah,
He's the Dave Steeb of the Toronto Mike universe, but
that's
he's
a good
in.
analogy. So I will tell you that it's kind of sad to me that for the first year, I got to go back in the archives. When was the last calendar year that we did not hear Mark Weisblot's voice on an episode of Toronto Mike?
Really?
2025 was Weisblotless, but 2024 he came on the mic during a recording I did at Christie Pitts for the Toronto Maple Leafs
But
baseball
why?
team.
Why was he not here?
He has an open invitation, and we
What's
talk
happened?
often.
You guys have beef?
God, no. He's in the FOTM WhatsApp group. I chat with him
How the
every
hell
day.
can a guy like him can't stay away from a microphone? How did you get him to stay away like this?
He had a tough exit from the Canadian Jewish News.
Oh, really?
And I think he's
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, he needs some time, I think.
Fair enough.
He needs some time. But in 2026, I'll do everything in my power to get Mark Weisblot back in his
Maybe,
basement.
he was going on the hypothetical walk that he goes on when I invite him to my screenings.
Yeah, he does that, right? I think he is on
He didn't want to come into the theater to watch the movie, so he came, said hello, then went for a walk. Yet he's a Hall of Famer.
That's a good callback. Okay, I'm going to wrap up these Hall of Famers real quick. You and Cam went in together. So Cam Gordon, Stu Stone were next into the FOTM Hall
But
of
we
Fame.
probably would have been individually recognized irregardless.
Oh, yeah, 100%, of course. So you got 100.
But Cam definitely deserves it. I wouldn't be here if not for Cam.
Then it was, I got a little story about this guy. Maybe I can tell it now. But Peter Gross
Yep.
went into the FOTM Hall of Fame.
Deservedly, there's a guy that shows up. He's here. He's a dog.
He's a dog, all right. And he will absolutely be at TMLX 21 tomorrow. So finally a Hall of Famer at TMLX. But also another Hall of Famer who will be at TMLX tomorrow, Lieve Fumka.
There you go. It's about time that Lieve Fumka was recognized.
It was quite a sausage fest.
She should be in the Hall of Fame because of the support that unwavering support.
Also, she
Unlike
found a secret path into the Hall of Fame.
How?
Get sick.
Well, I don't know.
But I'm going to see her tomorrow, and she will give us an update on her health. But she sounds and looks amazing because I saw her at TMLX.
Well, she always sounds and looks amazing to me. But I'll say this about her. There is the definition, Mike, that you need to learn from her, from this Hall of Famer. Loyalty. She didn't hop off. She didn't write off the Toronto Mike season and wait for the playoffs, Mike. She sat through a lot of dreck to get to episodes like this, Mike.
Right.
She had to sit through a whole year without 1236, and she's still here, Mike. That is something that sports in general, people say, oh, why is sports useful? Well, sports is a waste of time. It's not a waste of time because you learn life lessons. There's teachable things that are impressionable people need that only sports can teach you, and loyalty is one of them, Mike.
Well, there's another FOTM Hall of Famer. Speaking of loyalty, his name is, I call him the VP of sales. He calls himself the VP of no sales. He has another name, Tyler Campbell. He's in the FOTM Hall of Fame.
And he should be too, despite the fact that early on in his tenure, he didn't even credit my appearances as official appearances.
No, you're confusing guys. That's Al Grego.
Oh, that's Al Grego?
He used to do the best of episodes.
Fair.
But best ofs have been replaced by FOTM cast.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So I'm sorry. Then I mistakenly...
Yeah, please.
Your
beef is with Al Grego.
My beef is with Grego. But,
well, so I want to...
But Tyler should be a Hall of Famer for sure.
He's driving me to Palma's Kitchen tomorrow.
What about Tim?
Oh, yeah. Well, I saw Ian. I just went to a concert in Guelph. I saw Hawksley Workman with Ian.
Oh, how was that?
Great. Yeah, it was a great little venue and in Guelph, and I enjoyed myself. I went backstage. There was an intermission, and I got invited backstage to hang with Hawk. So let me just do this really quickly, and then we'll get to Oasis, and I have a thing about Pearl Jam, and we're going to just wrap up some more things here. But I want to make sure, because this is my last chance to do this, and I kept this off of the Dave Hodge episode, which, by the way, Lieve Famke does listen to every episode, but she did privately tell me yesterday she's not big on the Dave Hodge episodes.
Really? Why?
I don't know. Maybe tomorrow when she pops on the mic, we'll ask her what her beef is with Dave Hodge, the living legend. But the Hodge 100 dropped yesterday, and I want everybody who hears my voice right now to know, if you listened early enough, there's still time to show up at TMLX 21 at Palma's Kitchen, which is November 29 from noon to 3 p.m. We're talking 2025, everybody, if you're listening in the far-off future. Who knows? But not only does everybody eat for free, thank you, Palma Pasta, but I'm going to bring fresh craft beer from Great Lakes Brewery, and you can drink, if you're over 19, you can drink for free. And last but not least, Retro Festive is going to give everybody, well, the first 75 people. I always joke we won't get 8 people, but the first 75 people will get a gift from Retro Festive.
Oh.
And Stu, you can save 10% right now at retrofestive.ca with the promo code FOTM.
Oh. What am I saving on?
You're saving on like pop culture stuff and Christmas stuff. Like, if you want a leg lamp.
You know what? This would be really a great time for me to go on that site live, and they would probably appreciate that.
You do that.
How do I get there?
Retrofestive.ca, and then you go there now, and then later you can go to recyclemyelectronics.ca and find out where you drop off your cables and electronics and everything, so it's properly recycled. And then maybe you should subscribe to...
That's a cool site.
Yeah, Ty, the Christmas guy, he brought a rifle to the last TMLX at Palma's Kitchen. You know the BB gun from A Christmas Story?
I do.
How come you didn't get the role of Ralphie? Is that name Ralphie? Do I have the right name? Yeah, Christmas Story. Why didn't you get that role?
I think I was too young, Mike, but I ended up becoming the better Ralphie.
Right, on Magic School Bus.
Yes.
No, absolutely. I live in life. And if people are like, who's Stu Stone? Because I didn't even give you a proper intro because you went on a roll. But I want to there's a lot of great Stu Stone episodes in the archives. Maybe find the first one to get the A to Z. But this man, as discussed when Hulk Hogan died, this man played Jake Gyllenhaal's best friend.
Or Jake Gyllenhaal.
Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm more of a Maggie fan myself. But if you go and if you watch Donnie Darko, you've seen Stu Stone. If you've seen the Magic School Bus, you've heard Stu Stone.
If you've listened to Toronto Mike.
Living legends. So absolutely. So quick wrap up here. You can subscribe to these podcasts. Life's Undertaking, which is Brad Jones from Ridley Funeral Home. We love
Hell
Ridley
of a
Funeral
pod.
Home. Hell of a pod.
Heaven of a pod.
Heaven of a pod. Right. I absolutely want to shout out Nick Iones and his fine podcasts, which is called Building Toronto Skyline and Building Success. Your friend Keith Stein was a guest on Building Success.
Oh, really?
Have you heard from Keith lately?
No.
Okay, no Gene Simmons conversations then?
No, but I do like him a lot. And
well, I have a story about his wife, but I'm saving it for tomorrow's event.
Fair.
His wife and I something's happening there. I do. And something's happening with Peter Gross. These things are happening. Maybe I'll share the Peter Gross one with you, and then I'll get back to the Melissa Stein one. But last but not least, I know you enjoy your cannabis. Shout out to Canada Kev, who's on the live stream. He loves his cannabis. Shopkindling.ca if you order your cannabis there. It is delivered to you in under an hour.
Holy
you
shit.
could do that now. Shopkindling.ca.
I should have ordered at the beginning of the episode.
Well, we got an hour more to go.
Here.
We got an hour more to go. So, and shout out to Leslie, whose cousin Jano just co-hosted a show with me that featured Michael Sadler of Saga. Are you a Saga fan?
I mean, I know Saga, obviously, as a Pandemic Friday guy.
Right. Okay, but let me wrap up this loose end here, which is that not only is your cannabis delivered in under an hour, but you can track it, and it's discreet. So much love to shopkindling.ca. And last but not least, if you, Stu Stone, are looking for dynamic and creative work environments, the man to chat with is Doug Mills. You are? I know you are. You're a creative and dynamic man. So you would want to talk to Doug at blueskyagency.ca.
Wow, Blue Sky. That's the social media platform that Wilner's on.
And I'm on it too.
Oh,
Wilner and I
perfect.
are like the Twitter refugees that are hanging out there. Hold on. His wife and I, there's something happening there. Oh, apparently that's a great tease, Tobias Vaughn says. And yeah, I got to phrase that properly. So thank you to Doug Mills and Blue Sky Agency, and get it yourself a privacy pod or two. So here's a quick Peter Gross story, and then I'm saving the Melissa Stein story for tomorrow. Okay, that's a treat.
Maybe you can tell me off the record?
Maybe I can. Yeah, absolutely. I was asked to be, this is true, okay? I can't believe it's true, but it's true. I was asked to be the Grand Marshal for the Etobicoke Santa Claus Parade.
Really?
Like, I'm not, none of this is being, no bullshit here. I'm not even, I was asked. And I actually, humbly, my first instinct was, we can do better. This is my instinct. Okay, we can do better. And I actually pitched a few people, including Arash Madani, that I know.
My friend Arash Madani.
Because he lives in the hood,
Yeah.
and he's a famous person.
Sure.
So I pitched a few people. Mary Berg, Arash Madani. These are people that live in the hood here.
Do you
New
ever
Toronto.
run into Arash Madani in the neighborhood?
Yeah. He ran by me once on a bike ride, and I pulled him over and chatted him up a couple of times. He lives very, very close. He's very close to Ridley Funeral Home.
I feel like he's like 5 streets over.
You got it. Good math on that. Okay. So I pitched some bigger names, but they came back to me and said, we'd like you to be the Grand Marshal, Toronto Mike. And I said, okay, but I have a condition. I want the living legend that is Peter Gross by my side for this parade.
Oh, wow.
And they went to a committee, and they came back, some committee, and they came back and said, okay, but you're on the banner, and Peter Gross is part of this. We think this is a great idea. So tomorrow, when Peter Gross is at TMLX 21, I'm going to let him know that the next
Assuming
Saturday,
he doesn't listen to this.
well, right, that's a fair assumption. The next Saturday, which is like the 5th or something, he has to meet me at 9 a.m. because this parade starts at 10, starting on a street called Dwight or First.
So what,
if you
did they
will.
parade around?
It's on Lakeshore. It starts at First, and I think it goes to like 33.
So we don't
or
get a
something.
Blue Jays parade this year, but we get a Toronto Mike
Right.
Peter Gross parade.
Yeah, so that's 100% right. And in this parade, as luck would have it, is Great Lakes Brewery. Like, they're a sponsor, and
Oh, there
they
you
have
go.
They have a float. So I'll be drinking Great Lakes beer this is happening.
That's
So
exciting.
It is exciting because Peter Gross, I'm going to tell him live tomorrow at TMLX 21.
Now, are you guys walking, or are you guys are like in a car waving
I believe
a
we're
convertible?
walking, but here's the funny thing. They sent me a note with the detail. I think we're walking. So you walk from 1st to, I think, 35th Street. Okay, we get numbers in South Etobicoke. Then the parade's over at 35th, but they don't actually give you a ride back to 1st. So basically, Peter Gross and I, we might even hold hands, but we're going to walk Lakeshore back east to where we started, which is at like 1st Street. So this is happening on the 5th, but I digress. So much ground I want to cover with you. Tell me about Oasis.
Yeah, I went to the Oasis concert, which happened in Toronto. Seems like 100 years ago now.
My brother was there at one of the shows.
I want to let's talk about that for a second. Not your brother,
Okay,
but
well,
let's talk
shout
about
out to
the
Steve,
Oasis
who
show.
might
And
actually
I don't
be
think
listening.
I was here since that Oasis show, so this would be still a fresh take.
Let's hear it.
I got caught up in the Oasis mania
Right.
that was taking place,
The hype train.
the hype train, and an opportunity to go see the band. You know, I had seen them previously back in the day, not only in Toronto when they were just upstarts, but then again when they were supporting Neil Young on a show at, I want to say at Molson or
The amphitheater.
Barry,
Oh,
Molson
the
Park.
Molson Park and Barry.
Not to mention, I was alive in the 90s, so I know all about Oasis. And I still remember hearing Supersonic on 102.1 The Edge and being like, oh, wow, I like this. And then going to HMV and buying the album and being an Oasis fan from that first album. And then I remember, oh, they're back again. And then, Wonderwall happens.
Right.
So I'm the perfect demographic of somebody who's trying to relive some nostalgia, to get that dopamine hit and to sort of reminisce and feel young and excited again. So this is in my wheelhouse. Whether or not the Oasis is my favorite band or not, it definitely maybe checks the boxes for my age of somebody, like you with Hulk Hogan.
Right.
Oasis was Hulk Hogan.
You were born in the 70s.
Yes.
Despite what I've read online.
Depends what website you're looking at, Mike. But yes, I'm age appropriate for an Oasis concert to be like, wow, I should go to that. So I went and I bought a ticket and I paid probably too much.
Can you tell us the number?
I think it was like $400.
Too much, but not, for this experience.
Not $1,000. No.
I can
still,
see $400.
But still, like, just to be frank.
Who's on the live stream?
Hello, Frank. I wouldn't normally spend $400 on anything that's a ticket unless it was a Blue Jays
Game 7.
Game.
Were you at Game 7?
I wasn't at Game 7, but I went to all the games that I was in. That I was able to attend. I went to 6 of the games.
Are you a guest of Ross?
Sometimes.
Can you get another guest for the next year's playoffs?
No. It was hard enough to get my own.
Understood.
Just to be able to be considered to be on that list is shows what kind of a great guy he is. But he is the best. But anyway.
Can you get him on Toronto Mike?
Probably not. But I will say that because he's not a guy he's a private guy. Not like you and I, Mike.
Public figures.
But I will say that going back to this Oasis thing, and I ran into a lot of familiar faces. There was probably some Toronto Mike listeners there,
sure.
for sure.
Sure, that's the demo.
Yeah.
Gen Xers from the GTA? Absolutely.
I hope that people listen to this episode long enough to get to this part, Mike. But
there are people on the live stream still.
Okay,
Andy
good.
is still lit green.
Well, then, Andy, let's talk about this. Oasis. There's clearly a formula to Oasis, which I'll get into in a second. But you know what they did a really good job of, Mike?
What?
They did a really good job of making this feel like a must-see TV, that this is a big deal, like you got to be here, right? Mm. And when you get to the stadium and the show is beginning, they play this sort of like 3-minute sort of mini documentary that like sort of tells you how we got here, that goes into the whole, they broke up, never again, it's not happening, hell freeze over, and then you see, and then you kind of, it's such a great hype video. It's almost like it's produced by the WWE to lead to like a WrestleMania match.
Amazing.
It was so well done that like by the time that first note hits and they walk out holding hands, and you have goosebumps, Mike, because they've done such a good job of painting this picture and telling this story that you are now feeling like you're a part of history. Right. So I'm going to give them a 20 out of 10 on capturing that feeling and making me as a consumer feel like, holy shit, I should have paid $4,000 for this. I've got goosebumps. I can't believe I'm seeing them. They're back. They're together. Okay? That happened.
20 out of 10.
20 out of 10 on that.
Right.
First of all, the venue's pretty cool, too. That pop-up Rogers Stadium or whatever it was called. It was pretty cool. You have to walk to get there. A bit of a schlep.
You should be biking there.
A little bit of a schlep to get to the gate and back out of the gate, but overall, I was very impressed. And also, what a fucking money. They're printing money over there at this Oasis concert.
Apparently, Rogers had a good year.
Oh, my God. At that, not only was everybody paying at least $400 a ticket to be there, if not more, then you got beer tents and American Express tents just selling. Oasis merch, it's not the same as going to a concert and seeing like a merch table selling, Styx t-shirts or something like that. They have like full-on pop-up like Macy's stores where people are lined up at the show and they're spending, everybody's spending hundreds of dollars on merch.
You're kettled, and now they can extract.
Boy, oh boy, I'm telling
money
you,
from
Mike,
your
there
card.
was a lot of money that was being spent at this show. A lot of money. I got to give Oasis credit for something. It is very difficult, as I know, being as someone who has dabbled his foot in the music industry. It is very difficult to write a song that connects with people, let alone a song that transcends. Okay, well, there you go.
Just a taste of a song you wrote.
Yes, and shout out, by the way, I heard Decisive on the show recently. It's one of my collaborators.
He loves you, man.
I love him.
Yeah, me too. Okay, back to your Oasis story. Circle,
It is
dot,
very
everybody.
difficult to write a song that connects with people, but it is another thing to write a song that transcends life, pop culture. Wonderwall is a song that is a hit song that is as big as any song, literally. There is not
Monster song.
There's not. I mean, maybe kids don't know it, but like, there's
No,
not.
I think everybody knows
There's
it.
not a reasonable adult in any corner of the civilized world knows Wonderwall. There's not a campfire where somebody hasn't picked up a guitar that can't play Wonderwall. That's another thing about Oasis, that their music's very easily accessible because it's easy to play, which we'll get to. So I give them credit for Wonderwall, for sure. And to do it more than once. They have a couple songs like Live Forever and Don't Look Back in Anger. They got some.
These are big songs. Champagne Supernova.
Champagne Supernova. They got 4 or 5 times.
Big radio singles.
They have smashed it out of the park. But there's clearly a formula to that you don't really pick up on until you see them play 20 songs in a row. It's the same drum fill. Literally, boom, like a drummer needs to come on and break it down. It's the same drum fill. It's a signature Oasis drum fill.
You want to borrow these?
No, that happens in every song almost. Literally, like
Right.
there's a signature drum fill. There's about 5 chords that they put in a boggle thing and they shake it up and like, we're gonna put them in this order for this song. Let's shake it up. We'll put them in that order. It's literally. It's very, very accessible by design, I'm sure. And of course, the vocals are great. They have that formula is a winning formula. Once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, but 20 times. It's just you know what I mean.
I do.
Like the
that's
7th,
a song. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, there you go. So the 7th song, every song is like, no. I know. They all have the same sort of familiarity to it.
Right.
That is comforting for people who are Oasis fans, I suppose. But it's like the way that these guys are on a pedestal, and I'm not insulting them because I do respect the hell out of Oasis. I spent money and went to the concert.
2 great albums.
Sure, but my point is that like they are considered by certain people and maybe in their own minds as like Beatles type of guys, right?
Right.
And I'm just saying the songs are not as prolific and there's not an evolution.
You're saying Oasis is overrated.
I don't know if they're overrated, but it's just not as prolific as people think that it is. That's all I'm saying. And it's just like there's not an evolution like the Beatles. If you listen to the first album to the last album, there's a clear timeline where it's evolving and the sound is changing.
Yeah,
and
then there's
they're
Eleanor
trying
Rigby
different
and now-
things.
yes.
And they're
Yeah.
Oasis is sort of like, this is our brand and this is what we do. God
Right.
bless them for that.
Right.
But
See, they're not like Radiohead, which is
that was the band I was going to use.
right.
They're not Radiohead.
Right.
Now, Radiohead does have 4 or 5 songs that anybody can pick up the guitar and play Creep.
Of course.
But Radiohead doesn't pick up the guitar and play Creep when you go see
No,
them
they
live.
hate that song.
Yeah. So it's like Oasis doesn't have that. They don't have that. Like, there's not a musicianship that's happening on stage at Oasis that doesn't make me or probably other people in the audience feel like they couldn't get up and do that.
But so much of this hype machine was related to the fact that the brothers hated each other.
For sure.
And they sort of built that up for years.
It almost feels like they did it on purpose.
It almost feels like it's like a
Wrestling.
wrestle. Yes.
Yeah.
It almost feels like that.
You and I, kindred spirits, Mike.
Oh my goodness. A good analogy is Canada Kev compares Oasis to AC/DC.
Sure.
Like they do this one thing and they do it well.
They do it well. So it's like, to stand through, the 20 song set, it was like, I was excited for those 4 or 5, 6 hit songs and I respected the other songs, but there was just like something that was very like, wow, it's the same song again.
Interesting.
And it's the same song
Tobias
again after
Vaughn
that.
went to the first night of Oasis. He says it was an amazing night and it's the most expensive concert he's ever gone to, but it was worth every penny.
It really was. And when they sang the big fucking songs, boy, oh boy, that was great. And to be in a place where there's people who were so obsessed with Oasis, so to be in their home,
to be here now,
to be in the bubble with those folks, and it brought it to a whole other level. I give the concert high grades. And I would do it again.
But I think your point's valid. Like, I actually didn't have and I'm also from the 90s.
I just feel like they're not as great as they say they are.
I mean, I can call up a couple of guys who will tell you Blur is the superior band, right? Like, but here in North America, when it comes to the bigness of a band, Oasis is the easy winner in that bout.
Like I said, writing a hit song is impossible, and they did it many times. Many times.
But I got to just to your point, and again, I wasn't at the concert, but if I was gifted a ticket, I absolutely would have gone. In fact, I'm a little upset my brother didn't give me a ticket. Come on, or at least sell me at face value. But okay. But they had 2 big albums. I feel like we do tend to a lot of it was the brothers hating each other and fighting, and then they got back together and Snowball's Chance and Hell and all. But only two albums that critics and rock fans will point to and say that those are great albums. Only 2. Like, that's not a long, excellent career. Because the third album, if I'm remembering correctly, the lead single was Do You Know What I Mean? And I don't believe there was a lot of other big hits coming off that third album. Like, it was a bit of a disappointment.
Listen, it's hard to write a good book. Stephen King is an anomaly because he did it so many times. It's hard to have that same voice, right? The
Beatles were the best at this.
Right. And so it's like, it's very difficult to do that. So it's like, I have to give Oasis credit for doing it over and over and over again. But at some point, the formula loses some of its luster. Listen, I went to a Guns N' Roses concert at the Sky Dome.
I was there.
And they played every song they've ever written.
I was there with Elvis.
So it's like, even that, like, they don't leave you wanting more.
They played everything. They don't 3 hours,
and they should leave you wanting more, but they don't.
Right.
And in a way,
drain the swamp.
Yeah, and in a way, it's remarkable. In a way that
remarkable.
It's not the best experience because of that. Like, you're over-servicing. Now, the Oasis concert, I give it, again, high grades. I had a great time. I loved it.
You're not shitting on Oasis.
I'm not at all.
You're just saying.
I'm just saying they're not Radiohead.
They're not Radiohead.
They're not even close.
Not even
in my
close.
opinion. As far as, like, musicianship.
Can I ask you about another, the band's still going.
Oh, yeah, and the video stage show, like Mike is saying the same thing. The production was incredible. There's Pearl Jam.
Yeah, do you mind if I leverage your 90s rock talk?
Sure.
Because this ties into my visit yesterday with Dave Hodge.
Yep.
But her hands flew
Great
from
song.
her side. While
You had to buy a compilation at HMV.
So you're reading my mind here. So I loved this song as well. I would hear it on CFNY 102.1 The Edge. And I loved it. I was already a big Pearl Jam fan, but I had to buy Sweet Relief, a benefit for Victoria Williams. So this song was written by Victoria Williams. Again, the compilation had some other great songs too. I remember that Soul Asylum song, Summer of Drugs. A lot of good songs on that Sweet Relief, actually, but I bought it for this song, Crazy Mary. If you ask Dave Hodge, who also loves Pearl Jam, what's your favorite Pearl Jam song of all time, Dave Hodge? He'll say this cover.
said no Loiteringa loud.
Fucking love it, okay? So we started talking about this yesterday because I also madly love this song. I always believed it to be just a cover of a Victoria Williams song because it's on Sweet Relief. Did you own Sweet Relief?
I did.
Do you remember that Soul Asylum song, Summer of Drugs?
I do.
I fucking love that song.
I think I saw them play it live at Kingswood Theater.
Okay, in that background there, that is Victoria Williams.
Yes.
So we get a bit of her here. Hold on.
That's what you hear.
One night, thunder crashed, Mercy back outside her windowsill. Dreamed I
Want to do a duet with me? I'm fucking loving this song right now. But Dave Hodge yesterday
looked down into the house of Mary.
tells me that he's looking into the song. Like Victoria Williams obviously wrote it, but he tells me he learned somewhere online, he couldn't remember where, that a guy named David Paik.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know the name David
Of course I
Paik?
do. Toto.
Well, that's why we're talking about this. So this is the keyboard player for Toto, right?
pianist, songwriter, keyboard, sure.
And his brother isn't it Porcaro, his brother? Am I saying this?
No, Porcoro's not his brother, but the Porcaro brothers are in Toto.
Okay.
Steve and Jeff Porcaro.
So you're my Toto man.
Jeff is the drummer. Steve Porcaro was a keyboard, sometimes bass player.
So I find all this. I'm starting to search
Did
this
they
like
write
crazy.
this song?
Well, okay, here's the thing. I know what Dave Hodge is talking about. You know, I'm not going to question the legend that is Dave Hodge. But the only source for this Toto keyboard player, David Paik, writing this song, Crazy Mary, the only source is from songfacts.com. And you can find it in searches, but actually they've been removed from the actual page. Like, you have to look at a cached version of the page, and you do see it in Google searches, but you can't see it on the actual page. So that's the only source for this information.
It's interesting because it doesn't sound like a song that they would have written.
Right.
But it wouldn't surprise me because now those are musicians that have versatility. That, you know, you hear Steve Lukather on so many different styles and songs, and he can do it all. David Paik is like that too.
Page, so not Paik, it's Page.
Depends what country you're pronouncing it in.
What about Canada?
Page.
Pasta or pasta?
Pasta is in Canada, but pasta is...
Okay, I'm doing it wrong. Okay.
Yeah. Pasta.
Andy Petrillo came on and said she doesn't know a single Italian who would say pasta. They would all say pasta.
Pasta, yeah, of course.
So when in Rome.
You know, just to conclude this like Oasis thought of the thing that draws a lot of people to Oasis and like hit sort of rock bands that are being referenced in the live chat. It's like the accessibility of like you can pick up a guitar and anybody with a couple guitar lessons can play an Oasis song or a Green Day song or a Kiss song. You know,
it's accessible.
It's accessible.
Unlike Radiohead.
Yeah. So there's just like a level of that makes them more popular just based on the fact that you were writing songs that other people can play. And like that's smart. That is a smart, intelligent sort of chess move to do when you're in the music business. And you're trying to sort of sell, you know.
Well, they call it show business, Stu Stone.
Yeah, so it's like it's good on the Gallaghers for writing that type of music. But again, I just feel like there's this vibe that they are like on a level of, you know, McCartney, Lennon, or Keith Richards and Mick Jagger or whatever.
But they're more on the level with Bush.
They're more on the level with Bush. I agree. But Bush is good. So is Oasis. And Wonderwall, of course, like people wish they had written that song, you know? Bush X I prefer, by the way, over Bush.
I actually was excited that early, Little Things, I think, was being played a lot on 102.1, and I bought 16 Stone by Bush, and I was excited to get it saying Bush because I knew it had been re-released as Bush X because there was another Bush. But then they changed back to Bush, and my Bush was like the regular, like I should have got the Bush X. You know what I mean?
Trim, Mike. You got to trim.
Quick little wrap up here. This is the version by Victoria Williams, but here's a mind blow for you, Stu Stone.
Okay.
South side of the town, on the wrong side of the track.
Victoria Williams, who did write this song, doesn't release this version
until after
Sweet Relief. So Sweet Relief, a benefit for Victoria Williams, which has Pearl Jam's cover of Crazy Mary. That is 1993, shortly after Joe was touching them all, okay? Joe Carter, FOTM.
Sounds like she's sort of doing a cover of Eddie Vedder's interpolation of the song.
So this is 1994's album Loose.
Right.
Victoria, so it's interesting that we would all assume that this came first.
Right.
But Pearl Jam came first. But I can't find any good source on the David Paik speculation that Dave Hodge was spreading on Toronto Mike yesterday.
You know, you have other examples of this type of stuff. You know, I believe Prince. I want to say there's like Prince songs that other
nothing
artists
compares to you.
Yeah, nothing he released after.
Or Manic Monday, maybe.
Sure. There's some other examples too that I'm sure if we really dug in, we could come up with reverse covers.
Yeah, where you write a song
That's
and
a good
it's a hit for somebody.
episode.
No, you're 100% right. You write a song, it becomes a hit,
and then you play it.
Like, did Patti Smith, Because the Night?
Yeah.
Right? I don't know. Again, I don't want to sound like an ignorant, but I feel like maybe that's an example.
Bruce?
Yeah, it's Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah.
But I don't think he released it first. I think she did, and then I think he subsequently then recorded it.
It's very possible.
All very interesting. Stu, you're very interesting, but I don't want to say goodbye to you until we get a little update on your life. Okay, so
Okay, let's
obviously
do that,
we did,
because
and then you got to go. But
yeah.
so just do you mind telling us like what you've been up to, how you're doing? Are you still working out?
I am.
Because you look amazing.
Really?
Give me a kiss, big guy.
Mwah.
Yeah.
I will say that I'm still exercising. I've changed. I've evolved. I've evolved in my
He's
exercise.
evolving. Okay, tell me.
Yeah, because I used to be all about like that treadmill, Mike, and I would be posting all like social media updates.
Right.
But I got called out on that, and
Who called you out and what did they
just
say?
like people were making fun of me in a way that I deserved it, and I deserved it because it is. When I was first posting the selfies of me exercising, it wasn't necessarily for me to be like, oh, everybody look at me. It was more like for myself to be like, I can't believe it. Look at me. Because like anyone who's known me for however many years they've known me would never consider me as somebody that does a shred of exercise. So it was more just like the shock to my system that I can't even believe I'm becoming this person. And that it was a pride thing of like, yeah, I'm still doing it. I'm still doing it. I'm still doing it. So I stopped with that because you got all the hits here. So I've changed my approach, but I'm not on the treadmill as much as I was. I'm lifting dumbbells. I'm doing push-ups. I'm doing pull-ups.
You evolved. It's not just cardio. Because this is what I need to do.
Yeah.
I need to evolve. I just bike.
Yeah. So
I got to lift weights too.
So like I'm doing dumbbells. I'm doing push-ups, and I love pull-ups. I couldn't even do one pull-up a year ago, and now I'm doing sets of 5. And
You're a regular Peter Gross now.
I'm loving the pull-ups. And I also like. I'm watching what I eat a lot more than I used to. I don't drink sugary drinks anymore. I used to be known as somebody that travels with a vitamin water or a Snapple. I would never even show up at a place without my own drink because I just was that guy. I don't do that anymore.
Good for you, man.
Coffee black.
But will you still take your Palma Pasta lasagna with you?
I will.
How's Trudy doing?
She's doing great. She's got a boyfriend. She's doing well. She's got she's going to Florida, snowbirding with him.
Is she there now?
She'll be there next week.
Will she be at TMLX 21
She
tomorrow?
might.
Send her over because I got the song loaded up already. You covered this song
Yeah.
for your mom.
See, I wrote it first, but then I released it afterwards.
I made that joke to my 11-year-old yesterday. I said, I thought it was a Leonard Cohen song. I didn't know it was a Stu Stone.
There you go. I will say, though, like professionally, things are going well.
Yeah, like give us that
I'm
update.
working on Dark Side of the Ring Season 7. Yes, Season 7. That started since I last saw you. That wasn't a thing that we were doing.
Amazing.
And I've been on the road for most of the last 4 months. We're filming new episodes of Dark Side of the Ring. So a whole new season is
Do you
coming.
want to tease anybody that we can look forward to?
Friend of the show, John Pollock.
Oh,
He's on the show.
love that guy. He's probably listening right now. John, get your ass to TMLX 21 tomorrow.
Now, here's something funny. When I was with John Pollock, interviewing him for this season, he said to me, yo, you're a big deal. I hear you on Toronto Mike all the time. So I was like, wow. You know,
that's actually how I find out if someone's a real listener, because
if they know who Stu Stone
if they're
is,
excited about Stu Stone
then
coming
they're
on,
then they're a listener.
then they're a real listener.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, I met this guy who I only know as Mr. Merrick because he once taught my my youngest son in school. But I met him yesterday at picking up a soccer practice, and we were chatting, and I said, because he loves the Dave Hodge episodes, and he's looking for the Dave Hodge 100, I said, Stu Stone's on tomorrow. And he got really excited, and I know it's because that man never misses an episode.
There you go. So
and he might be at TMLX 21
Major shout
tomorrow.
out there. It's... and then, Arash Madani, he mentioned to me, like... he mentioned to me... your name came up on Toronto Mike. I'm like, that's amazing. So it's like, it's really... it does... I'm waving the Toronto Mike flag. I don't take a season off, Mike. Regular or
I'm
playoff.
waving the Stu Stone flag. Regular
and I know
season
you do.
and playoff.
And I know you do. So I just want you to know the feeling is mutual. I wave your flag, and I'm a proud representative of this universe that you have built. And I feel like I've laid some bricks. And not shot some bricks, but I've laid some bricks. But happy to be a part of it and looking forward to a great baseball season ahead of Blue Jays. But another year of the Toronto Mike show. And I'm looking forward to coming back to the basement over and over again next year and for years to come, Mike. Because I just love being here and I love having these conversations with you. And I appreciate that you allowed me to come in here and beat you up verbally for your Blue Jays, and I feel like
I deserve it.
I accept your apology.
I deserve it.
Are you saying I'm
Well,
sorry?
I never really apologize.
You should apologize to me though for
for doubting you.
Yes.
I apologize, Stu Stone, for doubting you. I did not believe you when you told me the 2025 Blue Jays were going to be something special.
I accept your apology, Mike, and hop on because it's going to be a wild ride moving forward.
And we only know each other, Stu Stone, because of the great Cam Gordon.
Yeah.
He came on and he pestered me for years. He came on and he said, "You need to meet my friend Stu Stone."
He was right.
He was right. And I think your first visit was when Hebsy was here.
Yeah.
You crossed
I
paths.
couldn't believe I was so starstruck by Hebsy.
I think I felt, man. So I think you alluded to the community. So I'm going to take this chance now, this opportunity, if you will, to just say, I don't know how the fuck it happened. I couldn't recreate it if I tried. But here we are with this amazing community, this TMU, as I referred to it, and these people in the TMU that mean so much to me. And I know I won't see you tomorrow. I'm happy to see you right now. We're going to take our photo by Toronto Tree. But the fact that so many of these people, I'm going to see their face tomorrow.
That's exciting.
I could cry.
I have FOMO.
That's all I ask. Get a little FOMO for me, Stu Stone.
I have FOMO because...
When you hang out with Patrick Swayze, I hang out with
Canada
Peter
Kev.
Gross, Canada Kev,
Yeah.
Andrew Ward, Andy Pandy, Stephanie Wilkinson,
All the
Moose
greats.
Grumpy, Leve Fumpa,
And I love all of
Brian
them.
Dunn,
Yeah, great.
Jeremy Hopkin,
Good. Look at that. Legends you're naming. The who's who.
the Who's Who, Kate, well, I was going to say Canada Kev, but I already said him. Hey Ref, hopefully will be there. Like, these people mean a lot to me.
And me too.
And there's people like Tyler Campbell and Cam Gordon and Stu Stone who I consider friends, who I only know because I started a fucking podcast.
Yeah. And I'm so happy you did. And that.
And that.
And that.
And that. Do you notice I hit it hard because
Yes.
of you?
Yes. And that.
Pull that clip. I hit it hard because of you. And that.
And that.
Brings us to the end of our 1,808th show. Did you listen to episode 1800 from Casa Loma?
No, but I saw you biked over there.
Yeah.
That was impressive.
Thank you very much. Go to TorontoMike.com for all your Toronto Mike needs and get your ass to Palma's Kitchen tomorrow.
Or today if you're listening on a Saturday.
Yeah, if you're listening on Saturday, November 29th, it's today. Get your ass to Palma's Kitchen in Mississauga, noon to 3 p.m. We're recording live, taking over the second floor. Come hungry, darling. 'cause
Merry
Palma
Christmas.
Pasta will feed you. Happy holidays.
Happy New Year.
Thank you, Retro Festive, for those gifts you're bringing tomorrow. Can you name this one? Gives it
Wait,
away
this
there.
is a different one than the last time I was
he
here?
changed it.
Holy shit.
He belongs in the Hall of Fame. Thank you, Great
Wait,
Lakes
I want to
Brewery.
hear this.
Okay.
Polka dot door. Okay. Degrassi. Zitz.
Zit Remedy.
This is so fun. Wow, black. Enough about black cars.
Can we get off black cars
Yeah.
already?
This is awesome. That's the polka dot door.
Yeah. The other one was
The other
Mr.
one was
Dress
Mr.
Up.
Dress Up.
Mr. D, as I call him.
And now
Thank
we're
you,
back
everybody.
into it.
Kindling,
Yeah.
Nick Iones, RecycleMyElectronics.ca, Blue Sky Agency, and Ridley Funeral Home. See you tomorrow, Palma's Kitchen, TMLX 21.